Well, good evening. This is Father Joe Gambala, St. Malachy Catholic Church. I'm addressing you online today in light of the incredible series of events that have overtaken the world, let alone taken over St. Malachy and the Archdiocese of Detroit. Because of the spread of the coronavirus, the Archdiocese of Detroit has canceled all Sunday and daily masses until the day after Palm Sunday. That's when it's tentatively scheduled to go back to normal. In the meantime, St. Malachy will of course cooperate. We will not have Sunday Mass nor Mass during the week. There are two exceptions to this. One, an already scheduled wedding is allowed to proceed. We do have a wedding scheduled, and we will proceed with that. Also, if a funeral mass is requested, we are able to do a funeral mass. But there is an exception with those as well. With a funeral mass and a wedding mass, a full mass may be celebrated, but communion may not be distributed to anyone attending. Those are the exceptions there. These decisions are not to be taken lightly. I am sure the Archbishop gave this very serious consideration. He and his staff and the priests of the diocese, and myself included, are very concerned about your health. Therefore, whatever we can do to cooperate with the authorities to help prevent the spread of this disease, we will do so. But canceling Mass is a very serious decision. Therefore, you must realize that we take this threat very seriously. Now, just speaking for myself, this makes me a little bit afraid. I guess that just makes me human. And I'm sure many of you out there listening to me now are a little bit afraid as well. Well, in this morning's Mass, there was a reading about young Joseph from the book of Genesis. You remember Joseph, the son of Jacob, and he had his older brothers, and he used to brag and boast to his brothers. Well, today's reading was about his brothers grabbing him, tying him up, and selling him into slavery. And I reflected upon that, and I told the folks at this morning's morning Mass that, well, I'm sure Joseph was very afraid. I am sure he probably was petrified. He probably thought his life as he knew it was over, that he was being a slave now, never to see his family again, to go off into a foreign land. I'm sure he had no idea at the time that God had plans for him, that through this terrible crisis in his life, he was going to be the person to save not only Egypt, but by saving the grain in the 7 years of feast, he would be able to provide food for the Egyptians and for the surrounding people, including his very own family. I am not a doctor. I am not privy to any information from the World Health Organization. What I hear about this is the same information you hear about this. But we are a people of faith. And being a people of faith, we are challenged to look at things through the eyes of faith. We believe in a divine plan that we may not completely understand, but we know exists, and it unfolds. And it unfolds in times that are joyful, but it also unfolds in times of challenge, a time of challenge that we are in right now. So let's hold on to our faith, pray every day, hope that God reveals his intent as we go through this challenging time, knowing that wherever we individually end up at the end of it, that we'll be stronger in our faith, stronger in our love for one another, and stronger in our love for Jesus Christ. During this time, when Mass will not be available throughout the Archdiocese, St. Malachy will be live streaming an 11:30 morning Sunday Mass throughout this period. So please tune in on your computer or whatever device you use. I will be here along with a lector and with some altar servers and with our music ministers to provide a Mass to the best of our ability for all of you out there, so that during this time when our lives are so disrupted, at least you'll still have a connection to your parish family. We'll pray for each other, and we will see this to the end. Thank you, and God bless you.